I'm Dr. Jill Johnson. I've spent my entire career in education. I started in the classroom, then trained teachers, and most recently served as a high school administrator. Now I help highlight the stories, struggles, and successes in educating the next generation of content creators. Welcome to CGTV.
Hi, Content Generation Workshop. My name is Sarah Patrick, and I'm a graphic designer at Class Intercom. I use Canva almost every day to create social media content for a variety of brands. And today, I'm going to share some of my favorite tips and tricks to help you take your social media content to the next level with Canva. Before you start designing, it's really important to make sure you have access to all of your brand elements. If you're creating content for your school, think of each design as a small piece of the school's overall story, and consistency in how you represent that story helps your audience immediately recognize where it's coming from. If your school has multiple people creating content, consistency becomes even more important. When everyone uses different colors, fonts, or layouts, your overall brand message can feel less authentic. But when your team works from the same set of design standards, or what I like to think of as the same playbook, your content is unified and professional. Canva makes this process really simple and allows you to organize all of your core brand elements so your designs can stay consistent. They call it their Canva brand kit. And here are just a few but important things that you can do with this brand kit. The first is setting your brand colors. I like to think of this as everyone is coloring from the same crayon box. You can also choose your brand font so everyone's writing with the same pen. And you can easily create branded templates so your team can start with pre-approved designs instead of building from scratch every single time. Taking the time to set up your brand kit in Canva, it's going to save you time in the long run. It's going to reduce errors. It's going to reduce decision fatigue. And it's going to ensure that you're creating your best content that you can as a team. Okay, now that we've covered how to establish your brand, let's shift to how to build clean and effective layouts. Most social media content is a mix of imagery and text, and pairing the two well can be one of the hardest parts of designing. So I'm going to walk you through some simple design choices that make your post stand out without overcomplicating your layouts. Here's an example of a piece of content. It's okay, it has all the information, but I know it can be better. One of my favorite things to play with is overlays. You can either start with a solid shape or a transparent gradient where the color starts strong and then slowly fades away until you can see right through it. I'm going to start with a solid shape. I'm going to head over to Elements on the left-hand side and select a square. I'll then expand it to cover my photo and then change the color up at the top. To use overlays effectively, it helps to understand layers. That's called positions in Canva. You'll see this Layers tab. Design is all about layering. You have backgrounds, photos, text, and elements all stacked together. So I'm going to move that shape to the back of my design, and then I'm going to go up to the top and play with the transparency so that the photo underneath can come through. For this design, I'm not really feeling a solid overlay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select it and delete it. And instead, I'm going to try a transparent gradient by searching at the elements at the top, transparent gradient, and a bunch of different options comes up. Grab that transparent gradient and add it in. You can change the color. I'm going to select a blue faded to a transparent white and then scale it to the photo. I'm then going to select positions again. And this time I'm going to go over to arrange. This is another way you can play with your layers by moving it forward or back. You can also align it to the page, or if you select option and a second element like the photo, then you can align the two elements together. So now I know that they're aligned at the bottom. Lastly, I'm adjusting my color, the color of my copy, so it stands out better. As you can see, I ended up reducing the size of the text, and notice how it now stands out better than it did before. By shrinking it slightly, it's also allowing more of the photo to be shown through, which gives the design more breathing room and makes it visually easier to take in. Two things I always try to keep in mind when having copy on a photo. One, copy stands out better with contrast than it does with size. And two, when everything is the same size and weight, nothing stands out. So because I added that layer behind the heading of Tigers varsity basketball, I was able to decrease the size, but it stands out more on my photo. Then I look at the hierarchy of the information on the image and decide what's most important to the viewer. I have the name of the event and the time that stands out most. Then the other details I push to the back of the design by decreasing the weight of the copy and also the size. Here's a side-by-side comparison of where we started and where we ended up. It's the same content, but one feels much more balanced and intentional. Now let's look at something newer in Canva, the Magic Studio. This is Canva's AI-powered editing area, and it can do some really awesome things to help you enhance your images. The first tool that I want to show you is my personal favorite, called Magic Expand. Sometimes you find the perfect photo, but it just doesn't quite fit in the space or the aspect ratio that you need. When you're designing social media content, your frame is your feed, and every platform has specific dimensions. Most social media content feeds today favor vertical formats. So people are scrolling vertically on their phones, and video content is primarily shot and shown vertically. Take Instagram, for example. As I'm sure you all noticed, the grid has changed. It used to be about square photos, but now it supports taller, vertical content. Here's an example of a great photo, but it's too horizontal for what I need. I select the photo, then I hit edit. On the left-hand side, Magic Studio pops up. I'm going to scroll over and select Magic Expand. Then I'll select for it to fill the whole page. Then I'm going to hit expand and let Canva work its magic. It's not always perfect, but Canva gives you 4 options to choose from. Usually one of them is pretty close to what you need. Once you pick your favorite, go ahead and just click done. Now I've taken this photo from the original horizontal version to one that fits perfectly in a vertical frame. And what's great is that it also created extra space, which gives me room to add elements like a logo, text, or even event information, all without cropping or losing any of the main image. Here are 2 more powerful tools in Canva Magic Studio. First is the eraser tool. This is great for removing those pesky details. Let's say I want to post this photo on the left, but I don't want to show the student's name. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the photo. I'm going to hit edit and magic eraser. Zoom in on the photo, and then on the left-hand side, I'm going to adjust my brush size. And in one swipe, the name is not only removed, but refilled in like it was never even there. The background remover tool is another easy way to clean up your photos. Just select your image, hit edit, and background remover. Canva will instantly remove the background while keeping your main subject intact. If anything gets cut off, you can hit the restore brush to restore those areas quick and simple. Animation is a powerful way to make your design stand out. With just a few clicks, you can turn a static post into an engaging video. There are a lot of animation and video capabilities in Canva that I encourage you to play around with, but here are some fast ones to get you started. Any element in Canva can be animated. Just select it and add it to your artboard. Then hit animate. You can choose from different preset options to add movement. If you ever get stuck or want inspiration, head to the Design tab and browse Canva Videos templates. They are full of professional, ready-made animations that you can customize with your own content. It's also a great way to see what's possible within Canva's videos tools. Once you select a video, you can add it in, and every element within that video is editable, so you can add in your own content. Let's say you've designed a static post and want to turn it into a video. Start by laying out all of your elements. Then go to the Position button and open the Layers tab. Hold Shift and select all of your layers. Once everything is selected, hit Animate and experiment with different styles. Canva will automatically animate all of your elements so they flow together as one cohesive video. And just like that, your static designs becomes dynamic content. Once you have selected the animation style, you can play with speed and intensity. Then once that feels right, you can also adjust the timing of your video. I'm going to add a few seconds to make this animation just a little bit longer. And just like that, you took a static post and turned it into something new. Thanks for following along, guys. I hope you were inspired to go and create something new. Happy creating!